King of the Open Road is an automotive enthusiast event.
It's a drag race, it's a cruise, it's a car show. It's all wrapped into one. It's an event where you can take your hot rod that you spent your hard-earned money on
with your family and your friends, making the journey that much more enjoyable. Getting to learn a little bit of history along the way and supporting local communities and tracks while overcoming the adversity of the open road. I can't wait to see you out on the open road.
Hey guys, it is J-Rod right here at Thunder Valley Raceway Park. This is King of the Open Road. What King of the Open Road is, it's an idea I came up in the middle of COVID. Somewhere we could take race cars, we could travel to small towns all over the nation and stimulate their economies because they were hurting in COVID. What it's turned into is a 3-day drag and drive event where we go 1 day of test and tune, 1 day of a 200 to 300 mile cruise to a random small town somewhere. We invade that town, we stimulate their economy, we eat their food, we buy their gas, and they allow us to raise a little hell and do some burnouts. On the way back, we travel back to the track, and then the racers have to get ready for heads-up drag racing. We have a little bit of something for everybody, from motorcycles to 14.0 all the way to 9.0 index to an outlaw class that expects cars that go 6s at over 200 miles an hour and everything in between. As a drag racer that's been doing this for the last 10 years at some of the biggest stages, I enjoy driving my car. I don't want to trailer it, go to a track and wait around 3 hours to make 1 4 or 5 second lick. I want to drive my car, make memories with the ones I care about, make memories that's going to last a lifetime hitting the open road. Hence the name, King of the Open Road. 2023 is going to be an absolutely stellar year. We decided to partner with Javier at That Racing Channel, and we're going to take these events on the road. So look for upcoming events, hopefully near you, and hopefully you guys enjoy these drag and drives. We're going to put on a 3-day event all across the United States.
Here with my boy Jared. Ready to do this?
Man, I am so ready to do this. We had kind of a nature threw us a curveball. 2 days ago, it was 75 degrees in Oklahoma. Yesterday, decided to get down in the 20s and snow its ass off. So we're driving to the track. Air temps are like 28 degrees. The DA is like negative 1,300 feet. But the weather actually today is going to be pretty good. It's going to be high in the 50s, no wind, and as you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. So I think it's going to be a really good day for racing, and cars should absolutely fly today.
He's playing it down. Look at this ice on the. We got ice on the Unicorn. We're in the Unicorn VR4.
Yep, 99.
This thing is so clean.
All original interior, all original appearing. Makes about 550 all-wheel horsepower and drives like a stock car. I mean, it runs really good. I really enjoy this thing.
It's a cold morning, boys. Still got ice on the 3000 GT. So we got cars already coming out. We're close to the track. See cars lining up already.
I say this a lot, but drag and drive guys are the most hardcore MFers in the world because, like, the f was that? So obviously, like, you go to a race trip, drag racers in the most part, you know, you're driving your car 4 or 5 seconds at a time. We're about to drive this thing 200 miles in 20-degree temperatures and through the mountains and with snow on the ground. Pretty hardcore, man. A lot of these cars don't have heaters. Pretty cool.
It'll be a good day. We made it to Thunder Valley.
It's cold.
And it's cold, and there is a ton of racers.
How cool is this? You get this old Ford Falcon Fairlane next to this modular. Look at the NASCAR from the left. So thank you guys for coming out. Obviously 3 days ago it was 75 degrees and today it's 29 and it snowed last night. So obviously drag and drive racers are a pretty hardcore group of racers. I pride myself as one of those, and I just want to say each and one of you guys are badass for being out here in 29-degree weather, fixing to drive over 200 miles, come back, race today and all day tomorrow. So first off, give everybody a round of applause. All right, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. All the information will be in your maps. So in these bags, you've got a really nice laminated map. It's got turn-by-turn directions, obviously, of everything going on with the day, with a lot of Oklahoma history into it. So in these bags, we have a lot of cool stuff. We got, like I said, over 5,000 stuff that our sponsors gave us. Deechworks $300 gift cards for all these racers, Kicker swag. We've got Love's Truck Stop gave us gas cards, and Able Racing even sponsored like 5 dyno pools. So we put all that in there, and you know, I wanted to think of a way so that the general racing public that's attending this event that may not be a #1 contender can still win a prize, right? So like the guy that wins the race doesn't need an extra $300 gift card, but the guy that's trying to go faster, he's the one that needs that. So this to me was the best way to allow those guys to win something, and hopefully that $300 Deechwork card may help them get their next set of injectors to knock that extra half a second off their 18. So it should be pretty cool.
Alright guys, so we're on the road.
Yes, sir.
We got our map ready to go. We're taking a sneaky shortcut here to hopefully try to get in front of the pack. We got Lincoln, our co-navigator.
Are we tricking them?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Ready to have some fun today?
Yeah.
You wanna go fast? Just a little fast? Just a little baby boost. The bridge that we traveled across during King of the Open Road was called the Wanette Byers Bridge. It was built in 1902 by the American Bridge Company, and it actually served as a rail bridge that connected 2 local towns, Pauls Valley and Shawnee. It was later converted to a 1-lane bridge for auto traffic, and the bridge is now labeled as a historic bridge.
This is so cool. Absolutely beautiful. Alright guys, got the first pit stop here. This is so dope. The sights and the sounds so far, primo. How you holding up?
Good, man.
You're in the full winter gear?
This is the Arctic, what do they call it? The Arctic survival system.
Man, you are hardcore. So you got like barely any windshield there.
That's right.
This thing's rad. So what is this thing?
It's a 29 Roadster Ford. It's on 32 rails. It's got a little 283, the 4-speed Muncie.
Hell yeah, man.
Quick change rear end. Have to check for some gas. We're running pretty low.
So we got just a little bit of everything out here. We got a badass Porsche, race trucks, old school rides. But look at this. They've done drag and drives before for sure. They driving the damn side by side.
I mean, it doesn't get more Oklahoma than this. I don't see a license plate, but I forgot it. Still got blinkers.
You just see a little bit of everything on these drag and drives. Gotta love it.
Guys, so we're here with Ray. What's going on, Ray? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we're currently out here cruising. Before we talk about the car, I want to talk about the fact that you're coming from Long Island. So how long was that trip? How many miles did you have to drive to come out here?
It's been about just over 1,700 miles to get out here. I've been watching this cruise in Oklahoma. I'm watching the talk about it online and friends with Jared, and it really looks like something that's really interests me. I'm into the history. I like the cruising. I'm into road trips. I built this car to be able to drive it far and be able to race it and cruise it and be reliable. So this really seemed like it fit the bill for me, and I wanted to just take a cruise. The goal of this car was to build something like I feel the factory should have in the 90s when these were new. Originally they were 320 horsepower. They would put about 260 horsepower to the wheels. So I did something using mainly stock parts and stock housing turbos, just with bigger wheels in them. I did pistons and rods to make it strong. Did a couple of modifications to the transmission to beef that up to make it strong. I have it running on, it runs on 93 or E85. And on E85, it puts 700 to the wheels with 780 foot-pounds of torque, all the way down at 4,000 RPM.
That's a lot of torque.
Yeah, so it makes the car have a really wide power band and makes it very fun to drive. You know, it's a 10-second car. It has every single thing in it. You know, the climate control and air conditioning and ABS, 4-wheel steering that these cars came from the factory. the active aero or the spoiler goes up in the back when we go over 50 miles an hour. It's got stock exhaust on it.
It's quiet actually right now.
This
as
is
we
it.
speak.
I mean, this is just, you know, how it was for me driving halfway across the country to come here, you know? A regular, you know, pump gas, no E85 for the road trip. And I got 27 miles to the gallon.
Oh, so you had another car before this?
Yes. I built like a max effort, big power, twin 6262s with a header kit that I made and a big stroker motor.
Okay.
And that was a lot of fun. You
How much did that make?
That made just about 1,100. You know, as I got older and not wanting to have a project all the time and work on it, and you know, because 3000 GT market is very limited and there's not a lot of stuff available.
Right.
So eventually I'm like, you know what? Let me just pick up another one and build like a real daily driver and do like almost nothing to it. Just drive it around and go 10s and you know,
drive
just have a good time.
1,700 miles.
Drive 1,700 miles through a drag and drive.
Sulphur is an amazing place. Great small town in Oklahoma, about 5,000 people in the population. It's also the home of the Chickasaw National Cultural Center. Obviously, there's natural springs here. They do put off kind of a pungent odor, but it's a really neat place with a ton of Oklahoma history that was once again founded in 1895, over 10 years before statehood.
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Good.
So is this looks like a turbo Hayabusa, huh?
It is.
That's wild. It's pretty cold out there.
It's actually not bad. I was
Not too
expecting
bad?
much worse. My hands are the worst part.
I was gonna say you're hardcore, man. I guess the leather protects you good, but your hands are freezing. How much power does it make?
That's the stock bottom end, so I try to keep it under 300.
Under 300?
Yeah.
So around that?
Yeah.
Dude, badass, man. Badass. This thing is wild, man.
Appreciate it. It started off as a Kawasaki ZRX 1200, turbocharged, fuel injected, originally carbureted bike, a custom fuel injected, a fuel tech controlled.
Nice, man.
Got a trailer hitch on the back, tow a trailer with it.
I saw that, man. This thing is awesome. So it's not your first drag and drive.
No, it's when they added the bike class at Rocky Mountain Raceway 2 years ago, we've both done it each year. I couldn't get this built 2 years ago for the first Rocky Mountain Race Week because of COVID, getting parts and everything, but we took it last year and
that's awesome.
took second place with it behind the Busa.
Awesome, brother. Heck yeah, man. How much power does it make?
It's a little over 300. I'm probably going to stop there. I'm maxing the injectors out.
Okay.
But
that's a lot of power for a bike, man.
and shorter wheelbase. It's only 68 or 65 inch wheelbase. So.
Sure.
But it moves my big butt pretty good. So.
You got an intercooler hanging off the side here. This thing is rad, man.
Thank you.
Good luck out there.
Appreciate it.
Tishomingo, Oklahoma was our stop. It was our landmark stop for the cruise. It was exactly right around 100 miles from the track. But Tishomingo was actually a Chickasaw leader who served under Andrew Jackson in the Battle of 1812. The town of Tishomingo later became the capital of the Chickasaw Nation. The Capitol building was constructed in 1897, and for you non-Okies, that's pre-statehood. Oklahoma became a state in 1907. So Oklahoma has a ton of older history than 1907, thanks to the Native American tribes.
We're doing burnouts in the middle of a town.
That's the Oklahoma way,
In
baby.
Oklahoma. This is so sick.
So these are our coins. These are our check mark. So they're pretty cool. They're kind of a commemorative deal that we're going to start doing. So it says King of the Open Road on one side. It's got Thunder Valley Raceway Park and the date on the other side. So these are your ticket to actually drag race. So without this, you can't race. So when you get back to the staging lanes, you'll present this to the tech inspector, and this is your ticket to race. So if you make it down here and you lose it, you're kind of SOL. But also, I thought it'd be a really cool deal for these guys to be able to hold on to this, even after today, so to remember today from.
Yeah, man. Let's open it up and check it out so they can get a better look here. Check this out, guys. King of the Open Road. Nice little commemorative piece here too. Thunder Valley. It's got some weight to it. Real nice. 2J?
We're about to go grab some food and watch these guys raise a little hell in Tishomingo, Oklahoma, and do some burnouts.
Yeah, man. So it's like a little downtown area in their town.
Yep, they got it blocked off for us. They got a 3-block section next to the fire department. They're going to allow us to be doing burnouts. So I know all these guys, they've got 100 miles under their belt. They got some pent up frustrations. They're going to let go on the trans brake, and it should be a good time.
And we're here with Barry. How's it going, man?
Oh man, it's going good. Came all the way from Colorado Springs, Colorado. This is a 2002 Chevy Camaro Z28 I bought about a year ago. You know, it's a street car, still got power windows, power locks, cruise control, all the cool stuff except air conditioning.
How much does it make?
That's a trade secret, but quite a bit. So I'm sponsored by Nitrous Outlet.
Okay.
So that's my forte, has been my entire racing career is nitrous. So it takes a healthy dose of nitrous on a small block LS. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, and it makes quite a bit of power. It's pretty surprising to see. But and being here on this cruise today and part of King of the Open Road, man, I wouldn't pass this up for anything. So matter of fact, I was in the hospital Monday and came all the way from Colorado Springs just to do this today.
So what made you want to come out to this event? What?
Well, you know, just it's the end of the year, and just I wanted to come out and see all the cars, and just I love Thunder Valley. I lived in Oklahoma for years, raced at Thunder Valley, always at Outlaw Armageddon, and then moved away, and it was just like part of me died. So coming back here is just coming back to my roots, I'd say. And just to take it all in, you know, it's for an older guy like myself, it's a lot of fun, and it's inspiration to get me through the winter, you might say. So that's it, really.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for sharing this beautiful car with me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome talking with you.
Appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Shortly after we left Tishomingo, Ray's car had developed an engine noise.
I was making pulls where they leaned out a little bit, but it still ran like
We weren't sure what it is, so we were able to pull over, try to diagnose the issue, whether we thought it may be a throwout bearing, an injector that may have stuck, whatever the case may be. We pulled over, we checked it out. We weren't able to exactly put our finger on it, but the car was still healthy enough. We were going to try to limp it all the way back to Thunder Valley. The Arbuckle Mountains are actually the mountain range we traveled through. They're mostly located around the Davis, Oklahoma area. They're actually formed in the United States between the Appalachian and the Rocky Mountains. They contain core of granite. They date back almost 1.4 billion years ago. It's pretty wild to think something that old is in the middle of Oklahoma. They're actually named after General Matthew Arbuckle. He was a career soldier out of Virginia who was active in the Indian Territory for the last 30 years of his life.
All right, guys, quick pit stop with this badass group of cars here. This trip has been so awesome so far. So we just passed through Arbuckle Mountain. We stopped to get some fried pies. This place here, if you're ever making this trip, make sure to stop here. Those fried pies are no joke. But we're about to get back on the road, on to the next stop.
Paul's Valley, America. There's an actual Radio Shack.
Haven't seen one of those in a
Couple decades.
minute. And on the right here, folks, we have from the prehistoric era.
Yeah.
The Radio Shack.
From the last century.
Oh man, it looks like the original sign,
No,
too.
right there, look at that old original sign.
Oh my god. How do you have two Radio Shacks in the same area?
It's probably all the same deal. They even have a Whirlpool repair place.
It's like getting a time machine here, going back in time.
Yes, sir.
It's all part of the experience here, ladies and gentlemen. King of the open road.
As the day goes on, we realize that we had driven 200 miles in our race car with over 200 other like-minded people. The day started off with highs in the 20s and ended with highs in the 50s. It was actually a phenomenal day for drag racing. Obviously, not everyone had as good a luck as we did on the cruise. My buddy Ray, who had actually driven his car all the way from New York to compete, ended up burning up a valve and not being able to compete, but he had to drive that car all the way home. There was a few others that had some issues along the way, but that's what we do. That is what a drag and drive is all about. It's about showing the world that you can drive your race car, however many miles the drive is, go to these checkpoints, make memories, do things that a lot of times you'd never get to experience other ways, and then come back to the racetrack and race it for 2 days. So when we got back to the racetrack, the track had the track absolutely prepped to perfection, considering it was so cold that morning, and cars were flying. They were all going new personal best.
Well, we made it.
That's right, man.
What'd you think of Oklahoma? You like it?
Dude, it was awesome. This was one of the coolest like car event experiences I've had. I mean, we just cruising the open road, beautiful sights, awesome cars,
helping your
burnouts in the town.
Yeah.
You know, just what more could you want in like a race car experience or like an automotive enthusiast experience? And now we're pulling up to the racetrack.
And it's packed.
I had a freaking blast so far, and now we're getting to the even more fun. Yeah.
Go fast. I can't tell you how many text messages I've gotten from people saying, I'm going fast. They're going like a second faster due to the DA.
Hey, Rod.
What's up, buddy?
Tina's known locally and abroad for her time on the hit TV show Street Outlaws. She also likes to compete in pretty much all aspects of drag racing. Her and her husband David, they attend the Rocky Mountain Race Week series. They do a lot of our Cruise in Oklahoma events where they drive her 2,000 plus wheel horsepower Nova all over the great state, just showing how true of a street car it is.
So how was the drive?
The drive was great.
You enjoy it?
Yes, it was a good drive. Roads wasn't too bad, so it was all pretty good.
Did you have any issues with the car? Obviously, walk me through the setup. Big ass Precisions, were they 98s?
They're 88s.
88?
Pro Mod 88s.
Pro Mod 88s.
It's 509 Carter's engine built this. It's nothing fancy, but it's got a lot of good parts in it.
You guys built this car to drag and drive, right?
Yes.
You did Rocky Mountain Race Week in it?
Yes, we've already done race week with it. We broke the first day because we had some issues, but got it fixed and then continued on and finished with everybody else. But Mike with HMJ Fabrication, he built this car.
Okay.
And he built it right, and he built it to where we can do whatever we want with it.
Right.
Whatever.
Any style of racing you want to do.
Yes, and that's our big deal. Is like we don't just do one type of racing.
Correct.
We could have just built this into a super lightweight, go fast car, but I couldn't do anything else with it.
I like to drive my car.
I like to drive mine. All of our race cars we can drive. So that's important to us that we were able to do all that. So
well, this is your first time doing King of the Open Road, isn't it?
It is.
Good. Well, hopefully it won't be your last.
We've been on
some cruising Oklahoma. You guys went to Apache like 2 months ago.
Yes, we did. With
right after race week.
Right after race week.
200 miles.
Yes. So we did do that, and so we'll be doing more of these. Like when you have them, we'll be out here doing this.
Tina Pierce ended up going low sevens at 200 miles an hour. She had picked up a few mile an hour over her best mile an hour, and I think a 10th off of her ET. So we knew it was going to be a great day for racing.
Finally, I'm all shaking. I'm so excited.
See that foot.
So we're gonna have to rename the event.
200.
We're gonna have a Queen of the Open Road. So hey, that was your first 200-mile pass.
Yes, thank God.
You got that monkey off your back.
I know.
You had
finally.
the fastest pass ever in the event now.
Yes.
And you just drove it 200 miles.
I did with no problems. All I did was put gas in it. That was it.
And went 200
And
miles
went
an hour.
200 miles.
And won some money. And went
Yes.
King of the Open Road, or in this case, Queen of the Open Road.
Thank you.
So, badass job to both of you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us. It was fun. We're definitely going to do it again.
She's awesome.
For sure.
So one of my favorite classes in this event, or any event, is the stick shift class. What I love about the stick shift class is the diversity of cars. You've got 60s model GTOs, you have 60 models Fords, to F-body WS6 Trans Ams, to Subarus, to 2J swap Nissan 240s. Got a little bit of everything for someone and a little bit of something for everyone. So seeing these cars compete at this level after driving 200 miles is super freaking cool. Richard, one of the Canadian guys that came all the way from Canada to race here, has an insane 60s model GTO that runs 8-second quarter-mile passes behind a T56 transmission combo. His car was one of the top competitors in the stick shift class. Unfortunately, like all kinds of racing, he ended up having some technical difficulties and wasn't able to go to the finals. After breaking his car, they swapped the transmission. They believe they swapped the third member out of the car, put snow tires on it and mud flaps, and drove the car from Oklahoma all the way home to Canada through a snowstorm. Does it get much cooler than that?
What's up, my man?
How you doing, bro?
It's so
good to see you. Likewise.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think last time we saw you was TX2K. You were having some fun.
Oh yeah.
You're still running the Subaru. This thing is looking so good, man.
Thank you so
It's
much,
good
man.
as
I
ever.
appreciate it.
What's give us the rundown on the latest on the build?
So the build is the same. It's still got our Misfire Motorsports engine package in it. Still running the Force Performance Super 99. Ben's still tuning on the Haltech ECU. The only major changes are we changed it to a synchronized PPG gear set. We were running the stock transmission for a long time, and finally we were just trying to change it up a little bit. So this outing is our first outing with it, basically, that with everything running perfect. So I'm just kind of taking my time on the shifts and trying to, you know, get used to the car again. It did perfect in the drive yesterday. We put 200 miles on the car, didn't have a single issue, and we're super happy with it. So we're just gonna, today is day 2, second round of qualifying, and we're gonna try to get a PB. So.
Oh yeah, man. What's the quickest you've been so far in the car?
So the car has been 9.3 at 160 many times. We've got a shared goal of just getting this car into the 8s, like a full street car with class and everything. So I'm doing my best to get it there for everybody.
It's definitely not a light car. I mean, there's a lot of Subarus or all-wheel drive cars period out there running, and they're quite a bit lighter.
Exactly.
What does it weigh?
So this car weighs 3250. It's actually pretty heavy.
Without you in it?
Yeah, without me in it.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy.
It is, and that's kind of, this car is really sentimental to me. As you guys know, obviously, I've had this car for a long time, and it's not one that I wanted to cut up, and kind of like what everybody agreed on as well. So I just kind of want to make it happen with the way that it is. You know, cutting the floor out, putting Lexan in it. I just like doing it the way it is.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there.
Thank you so much. So good to see you, bro. Take care.
So in the quarterfinals of stick shift class, you have two of the fastest imports on the property. You've got the Misfire Motorsports proven low 9-second Subaru STI versus the black, extremely clean, street-driven T56 Nissan 240 with the 2J. Sean and Betty at Misfire Motorsports ended up going 9-1 at, I believe, 156 miles an hour, which made a new personal best for him, thankful to the great air and the density altitude that we had this weekend. After Sean got through this quarterfinal round, he met a guy that he had in his sights, Justin from Justified Performance. Great friendly rivalry there, import versus domestic matchup. Sean put a little more power in it to try to get that magic 8-second pass, but he put a little too much in it.
Real carnage, man.
What do we got?
Looks like this is the front side of the drive shaft. She looks like she had enough, so I think that it was honestly going to be a really good race, the 0-1. I was really looking forward to it, but it sucks that it went down this way. It's just part of racing, but great sportsmanship.
You gave it hell this weekend.
Exactly, gave it hell. Great sportsmanship. They helped us push the car off the track and everything, and you know, this is kind of a crappy deal, but we're grateful. Car reset its personal best twice in a row, and everything's good besides this, so we'll get back at it again next time.
Dude, so awesome seeing you. Congrats on the personal best.
You as well. Thank you so much, Javier. Safe travels home.
We'll catch you next time, man.
All right, take care.
In the finals of Stick Shift, you got two cars that are both GM-powered cars. You got Justin from Justified Performance out of Arkansas, one of our sponsors, who is reigning Stick Shift King of the Open Road champion, versus a new incoming racer, Ben Wise, here in Oklahoma, who had an 8-second red WS6 Turbo F-body. They both left great, but the F-body just had a little more steam on the big end, was able to clip Justin right before the finish line, making absolutely a picture-perfect finals race in Stick Shift.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
So you took the win in the stick shift class.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So give us a rundown. Actually, if we can pop the hood.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll get a rundown from you.
Yeah, it's going to be less impressive than you probably are expecting. So it's stock bottom end 5.3.
Wow.
243 heads, a BTR stage 2 cam, then force inductions 102, or 91 102 from force inductions, street car, you know, standard stuff, Black Magic clutch, and face plated G-Force T56. So
awesome,
yeah.
Dude. This thing was ripping. I heard you say it was I think you said it was a personal best.
It was a personal best. That final was a personal best. It was my first 8 today in round 1, and then personal best in the final. So super duper pumped.
Heck yeah, man. That is so awesome. Love to see it. And this thing. So I'll give you guys a shot of this. I mean, this is real deal street car. You drove 200 miles yesterday.
I did. It was. I will say I enjoyed the drive, just not in the car, you know. I don't know if people have driven a dog box transmission sort of
Okay,
deal.
guys, listen up.
It's rough on you, you know.
Oh, for sure. Especially, I mean, it wasn't just like a straight drive, you know. There was like through the mountains.
Yeah. Anyone upshifting, downshifting with a faceplate trans feels my pain. They understand kind of where I'm coming from, you know.
But you made it. Yeah.
Super impressed. I mean, I know this is like a backup motor for me. I had another motor I was putting together, and it just didn't come together because, you know, supply chain issues, that sort of deal. So I threw this thing in here to get some racing in before the end of the year, and it's far surpassed anything I ever expected this motor to do. So
that's awesome.
Super pumped. The prize money I won paid for a couple of these things. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah, man! Congratulations, dude. Yeah, this thing was ripping down the track.
Thanks.
And it was such good racing in that stick shift class. So.
Oh yeah, that final was probably one of the closest passes I've ever had with, you know, next to somebody. Most of the time, you know how stick shift racing is, you know, you got one guy who makes a pass, the other guy breaks, or something happens, you know.
Exactly.
So it's just the unpredictability of it, you know.
That's what you gotta love about the stick shift stuff, right?
I love it. I'm hooked, you know what I mean? There's a ton of these F bodies with a power glider or a turbo 400, but it's always when they see that it's got a pedal and a stick in there, they're like, oh man, this guy's either really stupid or he's, you know, he knows what he's trying to do something, you know?
Right?
So, yeah.
No, man, I think the stick shift racers, not only the stick shift racers, but drag and drive stick shift racers are some of the most hardcore guys.
I mean, Richard Guido over there changing a trans in a rear end. I mean, he got to get home, right? So, geez, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
This thing is an absolute beast.
No, thank y'all for covering the event. I'm a big fan of the channel. I watch the channel all the time, you know what I mean? I was originally a Honda technician a long time ago, and so watching and seeing what you guys are doing with like the K-Swap RSX and that sort of thing, or the K-Series RSX and that sort of deal.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Super cool, man.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Have a good one.
Nice to meet you, man.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.
So it's a badass car.
Thank you, sir.
It's a big block.
It's a big block Chevrolet.
And it's all motor, just with tins.
It's all motor. It's 10-to-1 compression, so it's pump gas friendly. It's got hydraulic roller valve trains, so really no valve adjustments. Like me and my son drive this thing. We love driving this thing. Seeing the event you were putting on, it's like, hey, it's like the perfect match, you know. So
and you know, you signed up for the old school class, which when I was building this event, I was like, we got to figure out a way to inject the original old school muscle cars without modern technology.
That's right.
And so we did a pre-1985 deal where it's got to have a factory equipped motor. So obviously this car, was this a factory big block car?
Oh yeah, it's a factory SS 396 Chevelle when it was born in 70.
So like this car was also offered with a small block in it as well, right?
They were. They had small block SSs, big block SSs, so 390, or anywhere from a 350, 396, and 454.
Right.
454 was the king thing back then for these cars. Yeah.
And so yeah, we wanted to do that. So like the guys that have their car that kept them true to their heritage,
right,
had a place to race, and they didn't have a 1970 Nova with a twin turbo LS that made 1,400 horsepower, right? So like this is where this hobby, this is where Americana's racing, hot rodding originated with these cars. Obviously, like I'm an import guy, but I have all the respect in the world where we started. So that's what's so cool about this car. And like you said, he drives this car around, cruises Oklahoma with us with his kids, and just went tens.
Best thing ever. I couldn't be on more cloud nine right now than ever. It's the best thing ever.
What trains is it?
4L80. So we did. It used to be. It was a stick car. It was a 4-speed car from factory, and we tried a couple different trannies, clutch issues. Tried another one, had some other training issues. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to what I know and convert it back to either turbo 400 or a 4L80, which is a turbo 400 with overdrive. To do this, like we want to drive it. We live in Mustang. We want to drive it to the track. We want to drive it wherever we're going. The drag and drive stuff, like you've done here, is the best thing.
This your first drag and drive?
First my run, yeah, first one.
Hopefully it won't be your last.
Nope, we are stoked. My boy loves it. My brother's been helping me. We're having a really good time, so we're just getting started.
Chris has a long history racing local. I mean, you've helped Dave and Chuck and a lot of the Street Outlaw guys. He knows what he's doing with these cars. He owns a shop local called Bell's Performance. He actually hooked me up with a camshaft spec on my 1980 Turbo Trans Am that still isn't done, but we're building that. And so, like, he's been around this stuff a long time, and obviously you know what you're doing.
Man, I love it. This is, you know, I tune and do a lot of EFI stuff, but my heart and soul, this is how I began. This is what my dad taught me, so it's cool. Easy stuff. Hey, actually, I stopped in Paul's Valley and got 93 because I seen they actually had it. But I usually just run 711. Like that's on cue, 91 octane on backup. Just we stopped on the way to the track today. Got a little spare fuel.
So you're under round 2. Do you think you're going to better the 1090?
I'm trying right now. Even that pass, we tried a couple little things. It picked up early in the run, but it made about the same, like within 100th of the previous pass. I just made an ignition timing change. We should see a little bit better performance. So
I'm gonna start it.
Fire it up. It ought to just fire up.
This feels cool, man.
That sound.
Rack the throttle a little bit. So factory, these had cowl induction. It has vacuum line from manifold. So when it loses manifold pressure, it opens the cowl.
Fucking cool. Like, I'm an import guy. I got a fast Super RX-7. But man, cruising this to the Sonic on Saturday night with your kids in the back seat, this is where it's at, man.
That's where it's at.
Good luck, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having the event, man. This is the best thing we've been to in a long time. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, man.
King of the Open Road was a dream come true for me because as a kid, you grow up, you want to race, you want to do your own thing. We decided to give this a go, and we had an outreach of support from all the racers nationwide. 17 states, 2 countries came, beyond my wildest dreams. The great thing is I partnered with one of my oldest friends in the game, Javier, TRC, the ones that brought you this awesome video that you guys are watching now. We're taking this show on the road in 2023. We're going to take this movement and we're going to move it on to other states. So if you guys want to try your hand at racing King of the Open Road, we invite you to come out, be on the lookout for open dates in the near future in the first quarter of 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you out on the open road.